In this video, I have a box. Now, are you ready for an unboxing? Alright! Hi, I'm iROCK, and you're watching my YouTube channel, iROCK RC. Alright! Hello! Hi, everyone! Hi, I'm iROCK, and you're watching my YouTube channel, iROCK RC. And in today's video, yes, I have a box. The return of the unboxing. Well, not really quite, but well, yeah, I guess this is it's been a while since I did a video in the studio, so bear with me. Might take me a while, but anyways, yeah, pretty cool. Oh, maybe you folks are wondering what's up with the headset. It's a sneak peek to the future of the iROCK, or for iROCK. I guess you can say I'm diversifying, expanding my horizons. So yeah, look forward to that. Let's get to the unboxing. But first, the trusty razor. Remember, folks, when handling sharp objects or razors, please be careful to not injure yourself or cut yourself. And for those who are under the age of 18, please get your parents' permission. Now let's go do this unboxing. Before I do the unboxing, I wanted to give a brief description of what this video is all about. As you folks know, I've been consuming most of my time on practicing or trying to learn FPV drone racing, or learning how to fly a quadcopter, mini quad. Yeah, a lot of names for it, but I'm basically Ashblood. I've been uploading on my channel for maybe a few months now. I know not everybody is into FPV drone racing, but it's okay. I just wanted to share my experience with you folks. A novice journey into FPV drone racing. I think it's pretty cool. If you haven't put on those goggles, don't know what you're missing. But that's besides the point. When you go out in FPV, and especially when you go out into out there and where there's a lot of people, and in parks or public areas, everybody's pretty intrigued of what you're doing. They ask you a lot of questions. So you try to be a guide. You try to answer their questions the best as you can. Give them knowledge. I know most people are interested in getting into the sport. It's a pretty cool sport. So I decided to make this type of video, or this type of video series, a while back. But before you get into something, you have to have experience. Through experiences, through trial and error, you learn. The best way to learn and to get better, and hopefully sharing your knowledge, is through experience. Going through the adversities, the ups and downs, many crashes, many falls. But it's not how many times we fall and crash, or crash and fall. It's how many times we pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and try again. Never give up, persevere. Learn from every mistake, every crash, and get better. And ask yourself how you can get better, how can you improve, and eventually you will. As long as you keep practicing, you don't give up, you eventually will get better. It might not happen overnight. It may not happen for a while, but you will get better. Trust me, believe me. So this is a video series on a beginner's guide into FPV drone racing. When someone is intrigued and asks you a lot of questions, like, where do you start? Where do you begin? And people have no idea, have no clue where to start, where to begin. This is my guide. So for those of you who ever wanted to get into FPV drone racing, what I think will work for a beginner who hasn't ever flown in their entire life. But believe me, folks, I gone through a lot of frames, a lot of different electronics, you name it, ESCs, flight controllers, motors, VTXs, receivers, radio control, antennas, LiPo batteries, the list goes on and on. Um, yeah, I tried every single frame that I could get my hands on. Tried all different type of ESCs, like flight controllers, motors, and I finally narrowed it to maybe one or two, you know, frames, ESCs. Well, actually, if you wanted to go like if you wanted to start FPV, I narrowed it down to one. Like for a beginner, like this is my suggestion and my advice. If you wanted to get FPV, this is how I would start. So first thing first is the frame. Now for the frame, I choose the Impulse RC Alien RR5. Oh, upside down. This is the Rotor Ride edition, the Impulse RC Alien RR5 Rotor Ride edition. Impulse RC Alien 5-inch. So basically, Impulse RC Alien, the RR is for Rotor Ride edition, and 5 is 5-inch, meaning the arms, the length of the arms. This is kind of like a semi rebranded Alien Impulse Alien frame, Rotor Ride. Doesn't matter, you can get the Rotor Ride edition or you can just get the regular Impulse RC. Both are pretty much the same except for a few minor details. I think the Impulse RC comes with a flight controller board, the flight controller cover, and the alien head. But that's just minor details. So let's go do the unboxing. Okay, so let's take a look what's in the box. So we have is your fasteners, standoffs, screws, lock nuts, more screws, hardware for your camera mount, and then more screws, standoffs for your flight controller, rubber dampenings, and your press nuts. So pretty cool. And then we have our PDB, camera mount frame, your bottom plate, top plate, and your 5-inch arms. Then we have your wiring, XT60 connector, and then heat shrink, the Rotor Ride edition Velcro straps, the LiPo pad, zip ties, and then looks like your files, and then your foam landing gears. So I just did a layout on the carbon fiber frame of the Alien. The reason why I recommend and suggest this frame for beginners out there, even though I know it's one of the higher end frames. When I say high end, it costs. It's probably one of the most expensive frames out there. But there's a reason why it's expensive. But the reason why I recommend and suggest this frame for people, the beginners out there, is because it's pretty indestructible. I built this Alien. I crashed it to concrete, light poles, and it just keeps on flying. Yeah, it seems like it can handle a lot of force and impact. And the folks at Impulse RC should be deserve a standing ovation and a big bravo and a big thumbs up for the structural engineering on this frame, and the way it's designed is well balanced. Um, center of gravity, the weight is balanced out on this frame, and the most important thing, this frame flies very smooth, and it flies like you feel like you're flying on rails. You know, for me, when I first built this frame and first started to fly it, I didn't like it. I hated it, because I think for me it was just too smooth. But you know, after crashing all my frames, destroying frames, and I only had this frame left. This was like, I only had this frame left to fly, and I wanted to fly, so I was forced to fly this frame. And after I kept flying it, I fell in love with it, and I fell more in love with it when I kept crashing it, and it just would stand the impact and the crashes. With the alien, you always be flying, and that's the most important thing. You just got to keep on flying to get better. You can't improve as a pilot if you're grounded. So I'm pretty sure this is Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable. He'll keep you flying. So yeah, set out the layout of the frame. I'm not going to open the hardware or the fastener bag, basically because it does. It's in order when you assemble the frame. This is the first set of hardware you use to install the frame. This is the second set, and your third and your final set. So yeah, when I do the assembly of the frame, I'll go over that. I know a lot of build videos on the alien, but I'm gonna put my little iROCK twist on it. So that's the fastener. You have like 5-inch arm, FPV camera mount, and your bottom plate, top plate, PVD, and then your other 5-inch arms. The thing that I highly recommend when you assemble this frame is you always smooth out the edges. Right here, this is kind of sharp edges. Not too sure what they call it. Hope I don't butcher it. Chamfered. the arms, just to smooth it out. My first couple alien builds, I didn't smooth out the edges. I just assemble it because I wanted to fly. But and then they also say use some kind of glue. I don't know what they call it, but on the edges. And the reason why is if you get into a crash and you hit a wall or something, especially concrete, these will split out. Because carbon fiber is just a lot of flat carbon fiber glued onto each other, or resin onto each other. So I have my own twist on it, and I'm going to show you folks. But I will smooth out the edges, and I'll show you that in a video at the end of this video. And then I'll instead of putting this, I think it's called the CA glue. I can't think of it at the top of my head. And normally that's the case when you do a video, you forget, and then when you get off the video, even before you, when you're not on video or filming, oh yeah, that's what it was called. So one thing cool and neat about the design of this arm is that you actually could mount the motor on top, and then you can run the wires underneath and install your ESCs on the bottom, and then run it back up. And one thing cool about that is sometimes you have a prop strike, and when you're in a crash, your props bend and then end up you end up hitting your ESCs. So that's pretty interesting. But I like to keep my ESCs on top, especially the type of ESCs that I'm going to use on this frame, because I like to see the LED lights. Have to see the LED lights. It pretty much tells the status of the ESCs, but that's besides the point. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and smooth out the edges and put some magic substance on these to strengthen the frame. So that way, if I get into crash into some kind of concrete, or or just crash into something hard, this won't spit her out. So it'll spit out. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be done right now.